And you can also check this by dialing *402 *1 hash. *402 *1 hash. I'm live on Facebook right now. You can go on there and go check this audios I'm going to be playing for you from the Honorable Minister. So it's not a live interview, no. I reached out to the Honorable Minister, sent him some questions, and he responded via voice notes about those questions that I sent to him. So the first one was me drawing his attention to this development. And I was saying that I feel it is the wayside, vendors who have brought us in this particular situation. Now, we know that registering of SIM cards with a Ghana card goes a long way to identify the owners of the registered numbers. Now, in a case like this, where I wasn't alerted about this particular thing and didn't know anything without my consent, numbers have been registered onto my Ghana card. Should anything happen, used for unlawful activities or anything, won't questioning me or arresting me be a waste of my time and the resource of the Ghana police? And this is what the Honorable Minister had to say.
Hi, DJ Mingo. Good afternoon, and good afternoon to your listeners. So this is a very critical issue that you are highlighting today, and I must celebrate you for doing what you're doing. If you remember, even when I was deputy ranking on the committee, I raised the issues about the systems that were being used in that SIM registration that happened under the previous administration, and highlighted the fact that there appeared not to be a verification against the NIA base, and so there was no dynamic authentication of the data that was being submitted. And that's why they don't need your biometric fingerprints, properly so-called, to do the verification. That's how come you have people being able to just use your Ghana card to register SIM cards without your fingerprint, and it's been registered. And so, yes, we have quite a number of such situations. There are situations that have come to our notice where people's cards have been, or SIM cards have been involved in crime, and we've tried to do law enforcement, and you realize that it's pointing to an individual's Ghana card. You pick up that individual, and that individual has absolutely no knowledge of what's going on. So those are real challenges that affect all the work that we are doing in trying to keep a safe ecosystem.
Yes, so that was the Honorable Minister responding to my question about this particular issue and drawing his attention to it. And I also asked him when they were rolling out the registration of SIM cards, and apart from this problem, what else are they seeking to do with this move, and how do they hope to achieve that? And this is what the Honorable Minister responded with.
Now, as Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, it's one of the key things that have been on my mind. And if you remember, even at my vetting, I announced that we will have a SIM registration. And be minded, I have not said a re-registration, I've said a SIM registration, because a re-registration would assume that there was some registration done. I mean, the evidence is available to me now as Minister that there was no proper registration done. The telecom companies are unable to tell who their customers really are. So we're actually in the final stages of sending an LI to Parliament, laid for a proper SIM registration. The last LI that went to Parliament was done in 2010 by Honorable Haruna Idrisu. It's no longer fit for purpose with what we want to do in 2025. And so we'll be laying that LI once it matures in Parliament, hopefully in the early part in Q1 2026, we will start the processes. But let me just be clear, people should not panic. We're not going to have to queue. Or let me say, not everybody's going to have to queue as you had in the previous times. What we're doing now is we're working closely with the NIA, and at the back end, we're trying to authenticate and do the matches and verifications of people's, the registered SIM cards and those that are not registered or have been registered fraudulently. The team has done extensive work. I know that at the last check, over 18 million records have been matched and identified. So what's going to happen is every individual, and the NCA will lead on this. They'll put out the information. There'll be advertorials that will explain what is being done during this registration period. But what we're going to do is we're going to, at the back end, match the information you've given to your telco already, match it to the NIA's record. If there is a match, you will get an SMS interface and message that will ask you to authenticate that that number is yours. So if your Ghana card, for example, has been used to register a SIM that's not yours, the question will come, it's not your number. You would say it's not yours, and we'll be able to block it and deactivate all of those numbers. And so there's work that's in the process. Once the LI is laid completely and it passes through Parliament, the NCA will pick up on that. But there is serious work that will happen next year relative to SIM registration. For those who have a challenge, then they will have to, just like the way you book an appointment for a visa or for a passport application, then select a location where there's an MTN or Telecel office, and then you would apply for a time slot based on availability. So you just don't show up. You would pre-book your appointment before you show up, so that we don't have people going to spend days on end in a telecom office. So yes, there's all of that being factored in, and next year I'm sure we'll put that out publicly.
All right, so that was the Honorable Minister commenting on the question I asked about when the SIM registration is going to happen. He's saying hopefully Q1 in 2026. Now, I also asked the Honorable Minister that, with this registration process that we embarked on some time back, with this, some people buy the SIM cards and then it's already registered and all of that. They take pictures of your Ghana card, hands them, accessing your details later and all of that. I was asking that I have no idea how they're able to maneuver their thumbprint and picture requirements. But then I believe they found a creative way around it, because you remember in the registration process, one has to put their thumbprint on there, your thumbprint is captured, and all of those stuff. How they were able to maneuver that, it beats my mind as well. Now, in the quest to make the SIM cards easily accessible to customers, we have also been put at the risk of giving our Ghana card details to strangers who can use them for dubious activities, right? So I was asking him, are there ways that he thought or he thinks this can be worked on in the interest of both the service provider and the customer? And this is what the Honorable Minister had to say.
Now, another critical thing that we're looking to do as a ministry is not just do the SIM registration, but also do the Central Equipment Identity Register. Now, every mobile phone has a unique ID number, a unique fingerprint. It's called the IMEI. And the IMEI is a unique number for every device that's globally recognized. And what we are now going to do is we're going to link SIM cards to devices. And so when your SIM is registered, your device also will get registered. And once you register and link the SIM cards together, what that does for us is, for persons who are engaged in mobile fraud and all of those kinds of criminal activities, when a number is flagged, today when a number is flagged and we deactivate the number, they just throw out that SIM card and buy a new SIM card for 10 cedis. That's really the cost of staying in business. But now, if that number is flagged, we don't just block the number, we block the device as well. And that raises the cost of them re-entering into the space. And so the Central Equipment Identity Register is going to be very critical to our fight against mobile fraud and digital crime. And it's something that's going to run concurrently with the SIM registration. All of that is going before Parliament as well. And so I'm pretty confident that with the initiatives and policy direction that we're bringing, and with the regulatory oversight of the NCA, issues of mobile fraud will reduce drastically. Your device will become a piece of plastic. You can't use it if it's engaged in fraud. And so we're working with the Chamber of Telecoms and the MNOs as well, and the regulator from the ministry, to ensure that we're able to roll this out next year as well.
Traffic Avenue. And yes, that was the Honorable Minister. And I asked him this on a personal level, plus videos I've seen online about people complaining about the fact that when they're running out of airtime, right, when they're placing calls and they have a minute remaining, how the call is kind of truncated, and then you get that prompt that you're running out of airtime. You can dial a particular code to get your extra talk time and all of that. I asked the Honorable Minister about this, and this was his response.
And then finally, on the issue of the MTN message you mentioned, the long message you get telling you that you have a minute left. I mean, we'll take that on the advisement. I'll engage the NCA to touch base with them. Let's find out if there's a different way by which they can, a more user-friendly way. I mean, this is feedback for us. And let me just say that, look, members of the public are welcome to always get in touch with the NCA through their multiple channels that they have. They've got multiple toll-free numbers that you can reach out to them with some of this. We have a whole consumer complaints division unit at the NCA under the Consumer Affairs unit, their division that deals with this complaint. And so please bring in this either via WhatsApp, via text, via email, via call, and the NCA would handle the suggestions and the complaints. If you have a challenge with your network operator, please, by all means, you can vent on X or on Facebook, but by all means, send in a complaint to the NCA, and the team is there to work on it. Your data gets finished too quickly or faster than you will, they will investigate it for you. Look, we've set up, I'm big as minister on consumer protection. I'm big as minister on making sure that the Ghanaian citizen and Ghanaian customers of services in the telecom space and technology space get the best value for what they are doing, they're paying for. So please don't just complain. By all means complain, but also don't just complain on social media. Lodge a formal complaint for us to be able to work with it. Because when I see the tweets or you tweet at me and I see the mentions, I'm able to refer them to the NCA. But for those that I don't see, it means you don't get resolution as quickly as you should or in a manner that should happen. So please take advantage of our complaint mechanisms and we'll be grateful and willing to work with you to address those issues. I mean, DJ Mingle, how do I say it? Abam Papa, we're here to work for the people. And so, yes, this is the Reset Agenda. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to you, Honorable Minister of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovations, the Honorable Samuel Nate George. So yes, that was the Honorable Minister commenting on some questions I sent to him earlier and his response via voice that I've just brought to you guys right now. Let me know, what do you think about all these developments? So they've taken note of this and they've actually come up with very solid ways to curb or reduce drastically the issues of fraud and all of that. And he's saying that early next year, we hope to see the SIM registration process again. And he's saying we are not going to queue, so the public shouldn't panic in no way, shape or form. And that is going to be a simple process. You'll be asked if this is your number. You just confirm that yes, it's your number. You do that and you move. You know, a lot of people have had a lot of concerns about this particular thing and all these mobile fraud issues and all of that. And the minister believes that this is the way forward. And with this, we're going to be able to reduce the scam and fraud issues drastically. Let me know your thoughts on this one. 0549 986 996. But then he went on to advise the members of the public to contact the NCA through their multiple channels with their complaints. So he's saying you can feel free to vent on social media, but try as much as possible to contact the NCA through their multiple channels with your complaints as well, because you might not be able to see all the mentions on X. You know, lots of people mention him with all their issues. He says if your data runs out very fast, you think someone is using your number for anything, any complaint you have, just forward it through the to the NCA through their multiple channels, and most definitely they'll attend to you. One more time, I want to say a very big thank you to the Honorable Minister, Honorable Samuel Nate George, Minister of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovations of Ghana.